Hi guys, welcome back to Magic Treehouse number 30, Hurricane Heroes in Texas by Mary Pope Osbourne. When we finished chapter 6, we found out that Jack and Annie and Rose and her daughter Lily had to escape to the roof of their house because the floodwaters had inundated their house, had filled their whole house with water, and then the house fell apart, so they're floating around on a roof. If you can see in this picture right now, there's Jack and Annie and Rose and her baby Lily. So let's see what happens in chapter 7, A Safe Place. Jack! Jack! Are you awake? Said Annie. Jack blinked a few times. What? He asked groggily. It was dark and the night was still. The rain had stopped. The water was calm. Branches and boards gently bumped against the roof raft. Look at that castle, said Annie. What castle? Said Rose. What castle? Echoed Jack. In a daze, he looked around at the darkness. Over there, said Annie. So Annie's pointing out the castle that's in this picture. A full moon peeked out from the clouds. Moonlight shone on castle towers rising above the water. Oh man, said Jack, is that a real castle? No, I'm afraid not, said Rose. It's a school run by Catholic nuns. It's called the Ursuline Academy. Ursuline Academy, said Jack. He sat straight up, fully awake. Ursuline Academy, exclaimed Annie. I don't believe it. What? Why? Asked Rose. That's a safe place, said Annie. We read about it in our Texas book. People survived the hurricane there. What are you talking about? Said Rose. Annie, you're remembering the description in our guidebook, Jack said quickly. The book just said it was a tall, sturdy building. You must have dreamed the rest. Oh, right, Annie said. I dreamed it. But it definitely looks like a tall, sturdy place, doesn't it? It looks dark, said Annie. I know, it looks dark, said Rose. I know, said Annie, but I'll bet lots of people are inside the Ursuline Academy. And I feel like they're safe. I'm feeling that too, said Jack. I think we should go there. But how do we get there, said Rose. Jack and I can get in the water and push the roof, said Annie. We're good swimmers. Oh, no, no, no. That's too dangerous, said Rose. There's wreckage everywhere. Maybe we can use some of it, said Annie. What do you mean, said Rose. We could try to find something to use as paddles, said Annie. Good idea, said Jack. He and Annie leaned over the edge of the raft, searching the water. Jack lifted up part of a chair. Annie retrieved a torn basket. These won't work, said Jack. They put them back into the water. Hey, this might, said Annie. She hauled a flat wooden fence picket onto the raft. Try it, said Jack. Annie knelt on the roof. She pushed the narrow slat through the water. The raft moved, but only a little. We need a second paddle, said Annie, for the other side. Look, a broom, said Jack. He lifted a broomstick out of the water. A flat bundle of wet straw was tied tightly at the end. Jack pushed the straw end of the broom through the water. At the same time, Annie pushed with her fence paddle. We're moving, said Rose. Jack and Annie kept paddling the raft toward the moonlit towers of the Ursuline. It's Ursuline or Ursuline, I'll have to look it up, Academy. As they drew closer, they saw that the massive building was partly damaged. Its tall, arched windows were smashed. But suddenly, a light appeared. Hello! Rose shouted. Hello! A woman called back. Is it safe inside? Rose called. I have children with me. Yes, we can help, the woman called. Jack and Annie kept paddling their roof raft through the water. When they got nearer to the academy, Jack could see two women at the window. Both were dressed in black robes with large white collars. Their heads were covered. Jack realized that they must be Catholic nuns. The younger woman held a lantern. The older one was leaning out the window. Keep paddling, you're going to make it, she called to them. Oh my, that's Mother Mary Joseph, said Rose. Who is she? Asked Annie. Mother Mary Joseph is in charge of the school and all the nuns. She is much loved in Galveston, said Rose. The raft finally reached the window. Jack grabbed the windowsill, to hold the floating roof steady. The young nun held the lantern. Mother Mary Joseph helped Rose and Lily climb through the windows. "You go next," Jack said to Annie. Annie crawled through the window. Then she grabbed the edge of the roof raft. She held it steady while Jack climbed inside the building. "We're safe," said Annie. Jack took a deep breath. They were in a long hallway with dark wooden walls. "Welcome all of you," said Mother Mary Joseph. "Sister Agnes will stay here with the lantern while I take you to the auditorium. But first, you children must put shoes on your feet. Our hallway is littered with broken glass." The nun reached into a bag and pulled out 2 pairs of shoes. They were both black lace-ups. Jack and Annie each took a pair and put them on. Jack's shoes were too long and too narrow. They looked silly on him. Rose laughed. It was good to hear her laugh, Jack thought. He laughed with her. "At least they'll protect your feet," Rose said. "Come," said Mother Mary Joseph as he walked down the hallway. Every step in the tight shoes was painful for Jack. Mother Mary Joseph led them into an auditorium. The huge room was filled with hundreds of people. Oil lamps cast shadows on men, women, and children. Everyone looked weary. Their clothes were torn and wet. "Oh, so many people," said Rose. "Yes," said Sister Mary Joseph. "They're from every walk of life. Rich, poor, black, white, young and old. Some have lost members of their families. Many have wounds or broken bones. All of them are refugees in the storm." So this is everybody. And there you see Rose still holding Lily and Jack and Annie and all the people right now that are in the academy. And that was the end of chapter 7. So now we'll see what happens now that they made it to the academy, which was one of the places that it said for them to go in the book. See you in chapter 8. Can't wait to see what happens next.